So this week, Disney World announced that they're bringing back annual passes, and that leaves a lot of people wondering, is an annual pass right for me? They've changed the prices, they've changed the perks and stuff like that. They've even changed what they're calling it. But the annual passes are back, and a lot of people will want to jump on it. So in this video, I'll break down how to know if an annual pass is right for you and your family. Our family has been annual pass holders for several years now, and for us, the answer is, as long as we're here, an annual pass is worth it. We go to Disney probably at least once a month. We stay for several days while we are there, so an annual pass is definitely worth it for us. We would never come out the same buying single day tickets or anything like that. So for us, it definitely is worth it. But for everyone else, it might not be. Maybe you don't live as close to Disney as we do, or you don't go quite as much, but you're still wondering, would I come out better by just buying tickets, or would I come out better by buying the annual pass? So here's how I would break it down. Throughout the rest of this video, I will try to break this down comparing apples to apples. So I'll compare the annual pass, obviously we'll know what's in there, but then I'll also look at what you would have to buy as a single ticket to get something equivalent to the annual pass, and then we'll break it down by the number of days that you'll be in the park and see which one's going to come out best. So the new annual pass structure that they've announced has several tiers, just like the previous annual pass system did. They do have a slightly different name, and of course the rates have increased and some of the perks have been taken away. So in true Disney fashion, and just like the rest of the world, prices are going up and they're changing constantly. So unless you are a Florida resident, the only option that you have is the top tier pass. So Florida residents have a few discounted options. They're a little bit cheaper than the top tier of the pass. But for everyone else, and what I'll use for the rest of this video, is the top tier pass, which is called the Incredipass. And the price of that pass right now is $1,299 plus tax per person. So we'll just say $1,300 per person, and that covers you for the year. Now it does come with a lot of great perks. One of those perks is free parking. For me, this is a big one. Parking is like $25, I think, maybe $30. I think it's 25 bucks to park each day that you're at the park. Now for me personally, that's a big one. I couldn't stand having to pay for that parking before we became annual pass holders. There was something in my mind about paying so much for a ticket, and then you get to the park and you have to pay an extra amount just to get in the parking lot. That just, I know that you could just factor it into it, but for me, it just always messed with me. You can ask my wife. I would be complaining about it before we would get to the gate to pay, and I'd be complaining afterwards. But paying for parking just really bothered me. Anyway, as an annual pass holder, you do get free parking. Previous years with the annual pass, you were also able to get free photo pass, which is where you could get all the downloads you wanted anytime a Disney photographer took your picture, like in front of the castle or something, or also when their cameras captured your picture like on a ride photo, like if you were coming down the drop on Splash Mountain or something, you get that picture. You could download as many of those as you wanted for free. Now that perk has been taken away, and you can purchase it for an extra $99. You can also add on water park access for an extra $99. So since those aren't included with the annual pass, I won't include them whenever I start breaking down how much it would cost to buy a regular ticket. So we'll leave those as add-ons over here and add-ons over here. We won't compare them in this video. And the last big perk, there's quite a few things that go on with annual passes, but the last big one that you need to know about is you do get a discount on your dining, merchandise, certain resorts whenever you stay on their properties, things like that. You do get several discounts. Some of those, it might be as much as like 20% on some dining and things like that. So there's a lot of factors to go into play. Just know that you do get some actual usable discounts here and there throughout your trip to Disney World. So on the other hand, you have purchasing single day tickets. Now, ticket prices vary by how many days you're buying for your trip. So if you're buying for 2 days or 3 days, it'll be cheaper than if you were to buy a single day ticket, but it's only a couple of dollars cheaper. So for this comparison, I'm using an actual single day ticket. We just want to see what the cost would be for one single day. It's hard to get an exact price because the prices are varied based on what day you are going on. Some of that's based on what day of the week. Some days it's based on whether or not this is a holiday or something like that, but there are quite a few factors. So for this comparison, I took from now, which is early September, through the end of 2021, and I just averaged up the prices for each day with Park Hopper, because with an annual pass you get to Park Hop as much as you want after 2 p.m. now. Since COVID, you used to be able to Park Hop any time of day. Now since COVID, it's after 2 p.m. But to add park hopper over here, the average cost from now through the end of 2021 is $199. And then we would have to tack on to that your $25 parking fee, which would bring you to $224, we'll say $225 for one day to access the parks. So then we can take that $225, divide it back into the $1,300 that it would cost us to get our annual pass with the free parking, and it comes out to 5.8 days. So if you are going to be in the parks for 5.8 days, you have more than paid for that $1,300 that you would have paid for an annual pass. Now, some people aren't going to the parks for 5 straight or 6 straight days, we'll say, but they do think, man, this trip is 4 days, and if I was going on any other trip, at least 2 more days throughout the entire year, you've got 365 days to use it, it would pay for itself. And you're right, it would pay for itself. Another factor though to consider is, while you're there at the park, you're going to be saving quite a bit of money on some of your dining, merchandise. If you like to buy a lot of like souvenirs and t-shirts and stuff like that, you would also save money on your resort stays. So that would really depend on where you were staying at, how much in-park merchandise you're going to purchase, how much in-park dining you're going to be doing. Things like that would really factor into an additional savings over here. So really, if you were able to add all that up, and it would be a hypothetical for me to add it up for you, you would have to look at your actual trip and see what your spending habits were. You might find that being in the park only 4 days would pay for this $1,300 annual pass over here on this side. So some good things about owning the annual pass is obviously the discounts that you get. You also get some premieres, like if a new ride is coming out, Ratatouille this week, a lot of annual pass holders are there. They're getting like a preview of the ride. They get to go there and ride it and stuff. So you do get some invites for a few things like that. You get the discounts on the merchandise and on the food and on some of your stays. Things like that really add up. Plus you get your free parking. And another really big one for me is that you get to lock in your price. So the price of tickets to go to Disney World lately have just gone up and up and up over recent years. They just continue to climb. They're constantly going up. And like I said, they really vary based on the day. So sometimes you might want to go during a peak season, and then you find out that ticket actually costs $225 or something just for that one day, you know, and then you got to add your parking and everything. You might go on days that are cheaper, or you might go on days that are more expensive. You never know. And so what I like about the annual pass is that you are locking in your rate for the next year. It doesn't matter if they increase prices throughout the year, or if you decide that you want to go on a busy day. You don't have to worry about blackout days. You don't have to worry about the prices increasing. You have locked in your rate, and you can go any day that you want for the next 365 days. So for our family, like I said, we go very often. We live only a couple hours away. We go down there a lot. We go to the parks multiple days, so we know for sure an annual pass works for us. But I'd love to hear from you. Does an annual pass work for you? Has your family been annual pass holders? Are you gonna renew this time since the price has gone up and a few of the perks have been taken away? Do you still plan to renew it? Do you want to keep it for another year? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you've enjoyed this video, a lot of my content is about this. I do travel vlogs, I do travel tips, travel planning ideas, all sorts of things related to travel. I'd love to have you like the video, subscribe, follow me over on Instagram. We can carry on the conversation over there. I love to get DMs from you guys and comments over there. So thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll talk to you next time.